Our next storyteller is his first time telling a story, so please give him a big round of applause, Marcelo.
I had a feeling that's why you were giving the explanation. Wow. Hello, nerves. So, I am a descendant. I am not an immigrant. I'm a descendant from a Hispanic Mexican father and two grandparents from Germany and Chile. My mother's a descendant herself as well. So I'm made up of about German, Chilean, Mexican. We got that out of the way? Cool. So when coming up with the story for this, I kind of couldn't think of anything at first because I'm a descendant. I didn't go through any of the immigration processes or lack thereof that people went through in order to get to this country. And I felt kind of strange just thinking of something to say, but I eventually came to a conclusion. Um, as a kid, in grade school and middle school, you'd think those are sort of time periods where making friends and like having a good time is really simple and easy. Uh, it is. And then there's just kids being idiotic and just rude to be funny. Uh, in grade school, I was known as the Argentinian kid who was a little too overexcitable because he just wants to be your friend. And I'm not that anymore now, but by God, did I want to be your friend? Um, but yeah, they called me the Argentinian kid because when, as a kid, people would ask where you're from or where your family's from. A lot of the I was in a majority white community in a suburb of Chicago, so majority of the time they would be like, "I'm Irish and Polish," or "I'm just from Europe and my family came here. Or I was just born here. My mom and dad were born here because America," and I'm just like, "I am Chilean, Mexican, and German." And when people heard the German part, they thought I was lying because for some reason that concoction just doesn't exist in this world. And so thusly I was labeled the Argentinian kid who just wanted to be special. But then, of course, it's grade school. I was able to bypass it and just have a genuine good time for the most part. And then we got to middle school, where racism was introduced. And racist jokes were made because they're funny, but they're not. Like, I could go through an average day, and then the school bully would just be like, "Hey, Marcelo, what do you call a Mexican without a lawnmower?" "Unemployed." And I'm like, "Haha, fuck you." But yeah, just the occasional jokes and things like that. I tried to go through it because, I mean, they're just people being stupid and just wanting to hear a laugh because, they can't do anything else, I guess, because bullying. Yay. Uh, but over time, eventually it started to wear me down, and I ended up going to the school therapist for a while. And they were like, "Do you want us to try and contact the parents so that way they can talk to the kid and stop the jokes from happening?" And at first, I thought that was an okay idea. And then, if anyone's been bullied before, you come to realize that if you tell on people, they find out you told on them and they get worse at it. Because for whatever reason, when they know that you're taking hits from what they're saying, they will just keep going because they're getting a reaction out of you. So I just chose to get thick skin and just be an asshole back because you know what? I'm not going down without a fight, motherfucker. And yeah. But then I joined the school's wrestling team. I was a novice. I then proceeded to go into one of the tournaments, which intermediate and advanced people were, broke my arm, and no longer wrestled. But that wasn't the worst part of it, because they chose to not see it as a wrestling injury back in my school. They chose to see it as um, an illegal doing something stupid and almost getting caught for it. Like, for example, people would ask if I jumped over the border and just fell and landed on it funny, or if I was shot at by Border Patrol while going across, or just in general, like maybe I swam around and I got bit by a shark. And just in general, those jokes, because that's funny. And no, it wasn't. It really, really wasn't. And I eventually broke. I caved. I couldn't keep a thick skin about it because this is not fair. Racist jokes, maybe if like used in the most proper of ways, can maybe be passed as funny. This is just below the belt, and I couldn't handle it. And I eventually broke down in front of people I knew and friends and even enemies. And in general, it was bad. Personally, for me, it was like, oh no, my reputation, it's gone. They know they're getting to me. But it actually made me appear more human, apparently. And thusly, people decided to pick on me less for it. And even though I was suffering with this, I didn't really bring this up to my parents or my mom, my grandparents, anyone, because it's just stuff that I think they didn't need to deal with. Because my mom, bless her heart, she's working to like make sure that we're able to live in the nice suburb that we lived in for my schooling and stuff. And my dad he's another story entirely, but that's just how it was. And I guess the moral of what I'm trying to say really is that immigration is a trial and a tribulation that some people have to endure even if they don't deserve it. Coming here, whether it is through paperwork from years and years of trying or desperation by crossing the border, is a trial that if you pass it, you're fucking amazing. And like my dad did that, my grandparents did that, some way, somehow. I haven't really heard their stories, but I hope one day I will. It made me realize that even though I was being treated poorly for what I am, I was shown that I'm worth it at some point because they came here in order to find a better life and in turn find a better life for myself as well. So you can try and hurt me, and yeah, it'll probably fucking hurt, but I know that I matter more than what you have to say. Thank you.